Kia ora all, and welcome. On today's show, we have someone so stupid and so unsure of themselves that they don't want us to force them to provide a working model for their stupid flat earth beliefs. That's right, we're talking none other than Phuket Word. Now his video is 30 minutes long, so I'm going to cut out all of his ramblings and just focus on the points he tries to make. Anyone who wants to see the whole video, although I can't imagine why you would want to, the link will be in the description below. Until then, Phuket Word. Take it away.
All these demands for flat earth maps and a working model and alternative explanations for the heliocentric model with all these distances to celestial objects and everything all worked out is merely a distraction from the really important matter of the here and now.
Actually, no, it would be the bare minimum we would require before we start to take your ludicrous idea seriously.
So any pursuit of a particular model or trying to really and truly define what the Earth is, where it is, when it was created, how it all came about, and of course why, is rather futile, really. It is a distraction because it's taking us away from the here and now.
Now, he mentions distracting us from the here and now quite a bit, but never really explains why. He does tell a story later on, but it's absolute nonsense. He also says that atheists are religious because of gravity. And no, I'm not making this shit up.
But that is just the word science being used to replace the other stories that go with any other religion. All these explanations and descriptions for how things came about, the moon or the stars and the planets and what they are and why they're there, etc. Or trying to describe how they work is...
Yes, that's what astronomy and astrophysics is all about. Finding out and explaining all of that.
It never amounts to any real answers. We simply must understand that we can't really know where the sun is, what it is, or how far away it is.
Where? The sun is in the center of our solar system. We know this by the orbits of the other objects within our system. What it is? Well, it's a giant ball of nuclear fusion producing plasma. We know this by measuring the neutrinos that the sun emits. How far away it is? It's nearly 150 million kilometers. We know that by using basic trigonometry.
But of course we can calculate ideas with models, and all those models ever do is illustrate the passage of time as designated by the sun, moon and stars.
Well, they do a bit more than that. For a model to work, it must also have predictive capabilities. But I'm sure you're going to cover that soon.
Of course there are alternative ways, for example, to how the seasons work. It is just a case of the focus of the sun's light or its distance or angle to the Earth, which can be achieved with many different illustrations, whether you're talking about the heliocentric tilt of a globe or the spiraling concentric circles of zetetic astronomy, for example.
No. Zetetic astronomy is the biggest bunch of bullshit ever. If you ever want to lose some brain cells, feel free to look it up. As for the seasons, they're created by the Earth's tilt and the angle of the sun's rays as it hits the Earth.
But we also know that there is a limit to how much we do actually know about this place.
Finally, something we can agree upon. Yes, we are learning new things about the Earth and the solar system every single day. However, the shape of the Earth and its rotation isn't one of those things. It's an established fact.
So there's a phrase in Buddhism or Buddhist teachings, not a phrase, a story in Buddhist teachings to highlight the importance of the here and now and the insignificance and the irrelevance of anything that happened before. You have someone who has been shot by an arrow. They're badly wounded, in pain, arrow in the chest, and some people come to help. And of course the immediate concern of the here and now is possibly removing the arrow and fixing the wound up, making sure that this person doesn't die from blood loss.
Well, my immediate concern would be, is the area safe for first responders? Once the area has been deemed secure, then I would move in and deal with the wounded.
That's the immediate concern. But if the guy is on the ground with an arrow sticking out of his chest, demanding, "Who shot me? Why did they shoot me?" That is really kind of irrelevant to the situation he's in right now. So, you know, what created the situation is of course worth contemplating at some point, but it's not the most significant thing about the event is the here and now and how to deal with it.
Can't they do both? I mean, why can't one from the group attend to the wounds while the other searches for this archer? Focusing on the here and now doesn't mean that you have to get tunnel vision. He goes on for a bit here about creation and the afterlife and how other animals all focus on the here and now, so I'm just going to skip ahead to his next point.
It is only us humans who would like to think of ourselves as being superior to the rest of the animal kingdom that want to try to figure out the how and the why and the when we are, and this somehow gives us some kind of meaning.
You make it sound like that's a bad thing. I mean, let's think of it this way. You recorded your video on a camera. You then copied it and edited it on a computer. You uploaded it to YouTube via the internet. All of that tech was only made possible by people who thought about the how, the why, and the when.
If we're looking at the sun, moon and stars and trying to define a particular model, that's a distraction, really.
No, it's a method of describing our physical reality and is used to make accurate predictions from.
The heliocentric model is certainly not our truth and not our reality. It is a fantastic creation story in the religion of scientism.
The heliocentric model as we know it today is the result of centuries worth of research and knowledge that's been passed on. And it is certainly a lot better than the lack of model that is currently being presented by the religion of flat-earthism.
The notion that the whole heliocentric system is powered by mass is really totally ignorant of everything else that we see as being part of this universe.
And you would be right if that was the case. However, we know that there is more to the universe than just mass.
Frequencies, electricity, magnetism, all these things are just, okay, it's understood that they are part of what's going on, but they are not considered as part of the working mechanism that makes everything in the sky turn and go places.
Where the fuck did you hear that? There are 4 fundamental forces of the universe. Weak nuclear force, strong nuclear force, electromagnetism, and gravity. How the fuck are we not taking these into consideration?
Just mass is considered as the driving force that creates gravity, and then that's it, and this is supposedly some kind of perpetual motion created by a big bang.
Okay, clearly you know 4/5 of fuck all about how the universe was formed. Now, I don't have time to sit here and explain all this to you, so instead, I'm going to recommend you give this a read. It is a book, The Big Questions, The Universe. It takes big scientific ideas and explains them in an easy to understand fashion.
You know, the rest of it, the rest of everything else that's going on is kind of, oh, it's just a byproduct. You know, life took hold on this spinning rock.
That was one of the most fakest laughs I have ever seen. It was almost as fake as the flat earth.
And, you know, the globe Earth, it's considered a working model because there appears to be an answer as to what the driving force is, the energy.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
There is no need for replacing gravity or the concept of gravity for the globe
You said it.
with anything else other than the fact that we are dense objects or people in a particular medium, a less dense medium of air. That's the only reason I have weight.
And you've ruined it. He prattles on for a bit now and misuses gravity a lot, so I'm going to save you the brain cells and skip.
You know, to have us feel weight on the Earth is assumed to be another external force, but really it is just our mass. And you can describe that in terms of acceleration, or yes, it's a force. You have a downward force, you have acceleration towards the ground, but that's not because you're being pulled down by any external force, like you would have to push something along or pull something up. It is simply your mass in the presence of a less dense medium that creates the downward force and gives you this downward acceleration if the Earth is pulled out from beneath your feet.
So what you're saying is that there is a force that is acting on your mass that is accelerating you towards the Earth. So in other words, gravity.
And it just, that's not what is happening in real life. We are not spinning. We are not moving.
I think Bob Nadell might just disagree with you a bit there, mate. Either way, he spends the next what felt like an eternity talking about the here and now, so I'll save you guys the hassle and skip.
We see the sun rise and set, and we are taught or conditioned to believe that the sun rises and sets because we are on a spinning globe. That's just an interpretation, a necessary interpretation for the model of the globe. But we do not experience that, and we do not see it that way. We see a level plane, and we see the sun coming up into the sky and traveling away from us. That is what we see.
Okay, by your own words, we can see a sunrise and a sunset. This is only possible on the globe Earth model, as on Flataria, the sun would only ever get smaller and never dip below the horizon.
But how it's working, the mechanics of it all, to assume that it's a big chunk of mass that is falling through empty space, and just so doing so with everything else falling around it in perfect sync is just that is insane. That's fantasy. It really is.
Okay, so you don't understand orbitable mechanics. That's fine. I'll explain it to you in the simplest terms I can. All objects in the solar system are in fact falling towards the sun, but due to our outward speed, we're continuously missing. The effect is the same for the Earth and the Moon, or the Earth and ISS, or in fact any planetary body that has satellites.
So demands for a working model can never really be met by anyone because there isn't a working model in the first place.
Well, apart from this one.
The only thing that is working about this is the predictability that comes about from long-term observations. So again, predicting eclipses and equinoxes and things. That's not exclusive to any model.
The heliocentric model can and has made accurate predictions on all of that. No flat earth model, on the other hand, has ever made an accurate prediction. They can't even get the location of the sunrise right. Perhaps maybe that's why you don't want us to force you to commit to a single model.
If you want to move on from flat earth, then that's what we have to do. We realize that it can be interpreted in many different ways, and we also realize that anyone who clings on to a model is just regressing to a point that is before the flat earth realization. You go back again if you just cling on to one particular model and assume that you have all the answers.
So much bullshit from one sentence. First, the heliocentric model has evolved over time with our new understandings, making it look the way it does now. No one has ever clung to a single model. Flat Earth, on the other hand, was removed from the intellectual circle thousands of years ago. So really, it's the flat arts that are the ones who are regressing. Now, he spends the rest of his video just regurgitating the same nonsense. So if you want to watch it, links will be in the description. So before we end, I just want to do a couple of shout outs. First is to a fellow YouTube creator and all-round good guy. I do apologize if I get your name wrong, but it's Dan Palladino. He has some amazing content on his channel, including a warning to anyone who has to deal with flat arts. Link to that video will be in the description. The second shout out is to a fellow flat earth fighter who has been working diligently behind the scenes to promote videos, promote Discord, and to promote several charities. It is in fact thanks to this person that I have been able to help out on certain charities and have been introduced to other really good content providers. She is also the inspiration behind today's wardrobe. So this is a special thank you and a shout out to Marvel Girl. Thank you so much for watching and making it to the end. If you enjoyed what you've seen, please hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't already, there's a button just down there that says subscribe. Please give that a hit. And as always, feel free to leave me a comment. Let me know how you felt and if you have any other topics or videos you'd like me to review. Till next time, ka kite.